Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo.
Hey, Nkowe High School. Na wana tufunye wo muwanguzi owa MTN Momo. Ye wangu de school fees ezo mwaka mulamba tebereza. Hey, owuliro otya mutima kati.
Banange sanyu byenye nali amochi wagonya njaga nyangu wamali walonze erinyo.
Shishi?
Njani awangula school fees.
Eza Momo.
Eza Momo.
Ezo mwaka mulamba.
Mwaka mulamba ndi musanyu.
Oh my goodness.
Banange MTN mwene yanza ne yanze.
Wanji?
Mwebale nnyo mwebalire ddala.
Kubiriza muzadde munange yonna joli. Wallahi is a serious school fees for Momo Pay.
Dial *165 *80 hash. Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You are now entered the draw to win school fees for your child for a whole year.
Hello and welcome to News Tonight. I'm Rhoda Ngonzi on Sign Language, Dorothy Namuyomba. Let's dig into it. President Yoweri Museveni has pledged to convene a multi-sector meeting in Toro sub-region to address challenges faced by tea growers and suppliers in Western region. He made this commitment during a public rally in Rampara District, Ankole sub-region. The event held at Mwizi Primary School was part of the President's Wealth Creation Awareness Tour. Now, leaders such as ICT Minister Chris Bariomusi, Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayebwa, Vice President Jessica Lupo, and the First Lady Janet Museveni accompanied him. President Museveni assured tea growers that a dedicated forum be held to address the sector's issues.
A section of leaders at all levels have on Thursday, 27th February 2025, accompanied the President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, to Rampara District to the Wealth Creation Awareness Public Gathering.
He has been here in the region to assess the performance. He has had an opportunity to visit model farmers, to look at the actual ground person.
You have moved around. You have seen all the hills. You have forests here. You have banana plantations. We have coffee. They are all thriving because of the strategies and policies, clear strategies espoused by our president.
Fisheries testify, they received their money and they very well utilized that 1 million. They have invested in their farming. They are doing poultry keeping. They are doing piggery. They are doing fish farming.
There have been complaints here and there, and the biggest complaints have been extortion, charges of the bank, but those ones we have finished them.
Convened at Mwizi Primary School playground, the rally summoned by the President targeted members of the general public from Ankole sub-region.
I have been on presidential zonal tours, and wherever we have gone, there is no doubting whatsoever.
The little land they have, mostly they grow matoke and coffee. That's where they earn from. And when you look around, they have listened the presidential.
This has been part of the activities of the third day ever since the President arrived in the area on Tuesday, 25th February 2025.
The people here assembled have been waiting for you, Mzee. Your Excellency, abantu ba Uganda nibakusima abwabinjiye byokozire okuleta obusenje okuleta entunguka okugarura Uganda busya
konkani nyenda kubasiima habwo kumwakira itwabatambwire nawe buri hamwe hono muri nkore mwebare kumwakira mweterera mu ngaro
nimbashaba kaguma ni muhajira muzee na NRM omwaka 2026.
Accompanied by the First Lady, Janet Kataha Museveni, the President thereafter addressed the gathering.
Mama Janet Mamreba, Kawara Mcheho.
Neja kubara mcheho, kandi kubahiga, ngorutaro rwo kurwanisa obworo, murukore mukigendereire, murebe ngo burikayona, obworo bwargamu.
Bitu bingahi, entunguka, mugarukemu obugaiga ninga obworo emyoga hamwe n'emirimo nezarwaki obugaiga nibukuzara emirimo abamwizi n'abagizi nibegaho naho.
Commenting on the matters of the tea business, which has been reported to have collapsed and caused issues, Museveni promises to dedicate a forum of concerned parties to address this issue.
Emphasizing the 4 words: development, jobs, wealth, and skills. And I could see my people here were understanding. I gave them the example of the Kampala-Kawale Road, which has been tarmac for 60 years. But I asked them, if you go today, would you not find poor people there? They said, yes, they are there. So what does that mean? It means we should not only talk about development, we should also talk about wealth creation and poverty eradication. I think this was the main method I was repeating.
Tomorrow shall still be in Tugamo, but what is exciting is that even when we came with the message of getting our people out of poverty, the people are still giving us a feedback of they want to vote President Museveni in the next general election.
And the president was very clear. He has clearly told the people of Ankole the message of PDM, or parish development model. He has clearly defined development and wealth. So development includes roads and other things that government can do. But he said once there is no wealth in the household, then we are wasting time.
He has advised us, he has taken us through various stages. It is actually upon us now to put in practice what he has advised us to do.
This marks the last day of the presidential wealth creation tour in Ankole sub-region, although the president will continue holding several engagements in the area over the weekend. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Now, the Prime Minister, Rhoda Ngonzi, has tasked the Executive Director of the Kampala Capital City Authority, Sharifa Usechi, to work with the Solicitor General to develop a law aimed at improving waste management at the household level. This across the country. The Prime Minister made this request during a meeting with a delegation from the United Arab Emirates, specifically from the Emirate of Sharjah at her office in Kampala.
Premier Rhoda Ngonzi wants government bureaucrats to craft a law aimed at improving waste management at the household level across the country. She was addressing a delegation from the United Arab Emirates, led by a senior director of Beer Group, Dr. Punet Sanai company that manages waste in Sharjah at her office in Kampala.
But we need to come up with a policy. In fact, a law. I was in Italy, in the city of Rimini. How are you going to partner? Are you going to come with your trucks to collect? Because the other time in Sharjah, I saw you had private people who were bringing garbage. Is it going to be the same system?
Uganda has been struggling with waste management challenges in its 10 cities, largely due to the high volume of organic waste produced.
Still need more. As you have seen,
Ngonzi highlighted that during her official visit to in Italy, she observed that households are responsible for sorting their waste, with fines imposed for non-compliance. She believes this is the way forward for Uganda and has directed KCCA to begin formulating the necessary law immediately.
We need to come up with law. I need a cabinet paper, and I need it urgently. I'm giving you just 1 week, so that the other week we have a paper about bear, so that cabinet can be guided and facilitated to come up with how the way forward for waste management, not only in Kampala, but in the whole country. And that's why I felt it was that he should be present, these people should be present.
The Prime Minister also expressed her appreciation for the support Uganda is receiving from the government of Sharjah, expressing optimism about the partnership and expressed confidence that Uganda now has the right partners to help tackle its waste management issues.
We have had a number of people coming here since the other tragedy that happened here. But I'm reliably informed that your team has brought life in our waste management solutions.
The Executive Director, KCCA, Hajat Sharif Zaki, explained that the ongoing engagements clearly demonstrate that the waste management challenge can be addressed.
In addition to what you have asked them, could be their point of reflection so that we can know how we are moving forward with them on this. And some of them were organizing a formal roundtable discussion with them, with relevant government agencies, because you have noted that waste management is even beyond KCCA. All the cities are battling with the same thing. And also the private sector players, because they have a contribution to make in as far as waste management is concerned.
The Director General, Uganda Investment Authority, Robert Mukiza, observed that several discussions have taken place with the visiting delegation regarding investment opportunities in Uganda.
We also had a discussion about the opportunities in the tourism sector and of course the science, technology and digitization in our country. I also was glad to note that they're also interested in real estate, hospitality, and even hospitals, building hospitals too. So I will avail them with the opportunities in our country and have further discussions with them on the investment opportunity.
A senior director of Beer Group, Dr. Poneti Sana, mentioned that their engagements with stakeholders have been fruitful and they will brief their directors back home about the outcomes of their discussions.
We went to the new site in Buala also. It's a huge site. It's actually almost double the size that we have in Sharjah, the one that you visited. That's about 125 hectares and acres, and here you have 230. So it's a good site to develop a similar waste management complex step by step. We move step by step.
Bear Group is a public-private partnership focused on creating a sustainable future through innovative technologies and solutions. The company provides a range of waste management services, including waste collection, sorting, and street cleaning, as well as operating a metal cycling center that processes old cars and other metal scrap. Shaidat Nasaku, UBC News.
The Confederation of African Football Inspection Team currently in Uganda has confirmed that the country's infrastructure meets the requirements to host the CHAN 2024 tournament. Kenya and Tanzania have also received approval. The head of the CAF delegation, Samson Adamu, made the announcement during a high-level meeting with sports ministers from the Pamoja countries and the senior officials from the three nations.
Following inspections of various facilities, including Namboli, Chambogo, Fufakadiba, and Wankulukuku grounds, the CAF team declared all venues ready for CHAN 2024 with only minor improvements recommended. Mrs. Janet Museveni opened the meeting by highlighting Uganda's dedication to co-hosting both CHAN and AFCON 2027. Noting significant improvements in sports infrastructure as per CAF guidelines.
I'm glad to inform you that Cabinet has ratified the host agreements for both CHAN and AFCON and has approved the signing off of the government declarations and guarantees. It is now my prayer that moving forward, CAF and the local organizing committee will work closely to ensure that we successfully organize both CHAN 2024 and AFCON 2027.
The minister confirmed that Uganda had secured its required budgetary contribution of $13 million for organizing and hosting CHAN 2024. In a joint statement delivered by Engineer Peter Toom, the ministers from all three countries requested that the $13 million budget cover all host country expenses for CHAN 2024. They proposed including government accounting officers as bank account signatories to ensure proper fund management. However, CAF guidelines permit only 2 signatories, CAF and the federations, Following advice from Attorney General Chiriwa Chiwanuka, all parties agreed that expenditures from each country's $13 million contribution would require prior approval from their respective local organizing committee. Tanzania Sports Minister emphasized that successfully hosting CHAN and AFCON would mark a milestone in East Africa integration.
Again, hosting of AFCON and CHAN shows the vitality of the African people in organized things which bring them together. And this is why we feel very much honored and privileged that CAF has trusted these three countries to organize CHAN and AFCON. And all the matters that are being raised here, their intention is to make sure that we have one of the best CHAN and AFCON tournaments ever staged in our continent.
I want again to assure you on behalf of our Cabinet Secretary that Kenya is ready on issues infrastructure, on issues payment of the hosting fee, and all the relevant requirements that have been given to us by CAF to ensure that we host a very successful football tournament for CHAN 2024 in August and AFCON 2027.
Addressing the tournament's postponement, CAF wanted to ensure the best possible event ever.
The reasons why the tournament was postponed is because CAF deems that it's important to give justice, to do justice to the implementation, to the implication that Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda have for this competition. It will do justice to make sure that the tournament is even much better than it should have been in February. So it is with that the president of CAF said that because of the commitment that the countries have, we need to make sure that we have the best tournament ever. So with the time that we have left, we work together to make sure that the tournament would even be better than it should have been in February.
Reporting for UBC, Baguma William.
And 9 candidates have been nominated for the Kawempe Division North Parliamentary by-election. The area returning officer, Henry Makabai, confirmed that several aspirants failed to meet the nomination requirements, including the 3 million shillings nomination fee, and were therefore not nominated.
Thursday marked the final day of parliamentary nominations for the Kawempe Division North by-election.
We must light Kawempe.
The exercise, which began on Wednesday, aims to fill the seat left vacant by the late MP Muhammad Sejirinya. Meanwhile, the returning officer Kawempe, Henry Makabai, confirmed that several aspirants were unable to meet the nomination requirements, including the youthful candidate Hamza Damulira, who failed to raise the 3 million nomination fee.
Nomination fee receipt, but all the other things are okay. All the other things are okay. The only problem is the nomination fee, but I'm going to settle it out. Hey, my team is working on that.
So having been advised about that, he left the nomination venue, hopefully to go and pay if he's intent on being nominated. But if he chose to opt out of the race, then maybe he will not pay.
Among those successfully nominated on the final day was NRM's Farida Nambi. She was accompanied by the NRM Director of Mobilization, Rosemary Seninde, who emphasized that Kawempe needs an MP with strong government ties for effective service delivery.
Kawempe North has various challenges that require an NRM person to lobby an NRM government. This I appeal to all voters, because eventually you will all be beneficiaries, be it your NRM or you're not NRM. Vote NRM party, so that we are able to lobby the leaders within this NRM government.
To forget that it is the NRM government in power as we speak. So sending somebody who is going to speak the same language with the government in power, I think is what is going to help the area to even develop further. So I want to appeal to the people of Kawempe, first of all, to appreciate the contributions of this government to this constituency.
Following her nomination, Farida Nambi led the procession around Kawempe before addressing a large rally at Mbogo Playgrounds, where she was greeted by happy crowds. Other candidates nominated on the last day include Moses Nsereko as an independent, Ismail Mosita on People's Progressive Party, Mutazindwa Muhammad as an independent, and Kisaka Henry of Democratic Party, DP.
I am coming in this election purposely to contribute to the renewal of leadership. We need to repurpose leadership. People should stop playing around with leadership. We are coming into this election to deal with the issues that affect urban areas. Many people still face so many socio-economic challenges in urban areas, and many of these injustices continue in the urban areas, which makes it extremely difficult for people to enjoy this country. So
campaigns are set to begin on Saturday, with candidates given 10 days to canvass for votes ahead of the election day scheduled for March 13th. Philip Aguta for UBC News in Kampala.
Now, government is proposing that broadcasters undergo a leadership training course in Chankwanzi to instill the spirit of patriotism and integrity in their work. Minister of State for Youth Palambaru Kahara says the media is crucial in the development of the country and is calling on security agencies to protect journalists while they perform their duties.
First of all, I want to appreciate the opportunity.
The Uganda Communications Commission has held a meeting with broadcasters and security agencies nationwide at the Commission's headquarters in Kampala. The meeting aimed at discussing how the media can operate without jeopardizing national security. Broadcasters acknowledged the presence of sensational content, hate speech and fake news on media platforms, but urged leaders to be exemplary before selectively holding media platforms accountable for doing their work.
We report what has happened. We are taking a mirror of what has happened. So sometimes when you see in the mirror and people are reporting that the mirror is showing you something bad, even if you box the mirror so many times, the mirror will show you what is happening.
And also I want to emphasize that you, the journalists and the media owners, you are the mirror of our performance. If we don't want you to do bad things or to expose the bad things we are doing, we should avoid doing them.
According to what media is reporting, I think it's not good for the country. What can we do? So in that context, we will stop blaming the media. I will blame a journalist who stage manages a scene and covers it himself. That one we will not agree. But you see a journalist yesterday while covering the Kawempe, the by-election. A journalist is beaten to an extent that an eye is almost cracking out.
On behalf of government of Uganda and on behalf of the president, who is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, we need to take apology, and I will ensure I follow up on the treatment of that journalist with the UCC director as a regulator. That bill of that journalist should be catered for by government, but we should not have these fights. We just need to have dialogue and see it once in a while the way we have done today.
UCC Executive Director Nyombi Tembo advised media practitioners to adhere to ethical standards and operate within the law, while also considering national security concerns.
The verification levels you need to achieve before you report on anything security. This is an international based practice, because security is not like reporting on entertainment. This is something exceptional.
Let's stick to the professional etiquette. Because there is only one Uganda. So for us, we know we can't do without you. We can't exist together without you, but you need us. Because the day we renege or neglect our responsibilities, you may not open your radio stations or your TV stations.
Government is considering enrolling broadcasters in leadership training courses in Chankwanzi to ensure responsible dissemination of information.
But what we need is capacity building and then patriotism. We need to install the spirit of patriotism in us. So all of us should go. But before we go, I will propose a small stakeholders meeting. Your representatives will either meet His Excellency the President or General Moskene Rugaba in the shortest time possible before the deadline set for the Chankwanzi retreat.
So we need to just give direction to our media houses. It's not politicizing media houses, not politicizing media reporting, but I think to give direction to how our country needs to remain on track.
Government has committed to revising the license fees for media operations to help promote government programs.
We could introduce a small quota for private media houses. Alternatively, even we could propose that the license fee be reduced by 50% to enable you broadcast government programs, to enable you be more patriotic. That will be decided, and once we go for this meeting with HE, it can be addressed.
This engagement has come at a time when the country is entering an election period. Journalists are often arrested, injured, and sometimes their gadgets destroyed while doing their work. Such meetings with security agencies are essential to create a safe working environment for the press. Tony Kent Chaze, Ivan Kahwa, UBC.
The Speaker of Parliament, Anita Monga, has directed the Ministry of Internal Affairs to investigate the alleged brutalization of journalist Miracle Ibra by the Joint Anti-Terrorism Task Force during the nominations for the Kawempe North by-election. His directive follows concerns raised by the leader of opposition, Joel Senyonyi, who expressed dissatisfaction with the involvement of the task force in the election process.
Rewa Hanifa Karadi, duly nominated as a candidate.
The nominations for the Kawempe North by-election commenced on Wednesday at the Electoral Commission regional offices in Kawempe Division. A journalist, Miracle Ibra, was injured in a scuffle between Joint Anti-Terrorism Unit and the supporters of Elias Nalkola, the National Unity Platform candidate. Leader of opposition Joel Sonyonyi brought the matter to Parliament, questioning the involvement of the JAT in election activities.
This particular journalist was descended onto by men in JAT uniform. JAT is Joint Anti-Terrorist Task Force. These are people who are meant to go out there and deal with terrorists.
Speaker Annette Antamong did not fully agree with the leader of opposition's statements, but urged the Minister of Internal Affairs to investigate the incident and identify the perpetrators responsible for the assault.
Bring. I mean, we must put these people to where they belong. We must hold these people accountable. Because if it is true that these JAT people did all this, why would they beat that young man? Honorable Minister, maybe you need to check it out with the Internal Affairs. If you have the cameras there, we could be able to find out. Because nobody is above the law.
Earlier today, Sanyonyi visited the victim journalist Miracle Ibra at Nsambia Hospital, where he is being treated.
The doctors are not sure that his eye will see again, whether it will recover. They are struggling to deal with that situation.
Sanyonyi urged the government to take full responsibility for the incident, pointing out that the government actions were enabling the abuse of citizens.
I think government needs to tell us what the exact role of JAT is. I don't know what they're doing in a by-election, but also what are we doing going after journalists doing their job? We have got laws in this country. For the umpteenth time, I want to implore government to follow these laws. If it is keeping law and order, police has got to do that, and again, within the confines of the law.
What he's saying, we sympathize with the person who has been injured, and also to note that some of these actions are not sanctioned by government.
Rebecca Nantongo, Gloria Gwitabinje, Parliament.
Thank you.
And Ministry of Health has announced that it is closely monitoring the 21-day period following the discharge of Ebola patients from Mulago National Referral Hospital in accordance with international protocols. So far, no new cases have been registered and Uganda is on track to be declared Ebola-free. As a result, the ministry is encouraging both local and international tourists to visit Uganda and explore its rich biodiversity.
So I had that interest, but that interest kept...
Various stakeholders in the tourism industry are calling for a unified government approach to ensure effective information management during crises and outbreaks that may impact the sector.
A lot has been going on what is being reported, and as the association we felt it is very important to meet and engage with the media houses and maybe get you to know what tourism is all about and how your reporting affects the industry.
Concerns have been raised about unprofessional media reporting, which has negatively affected Uganda's economy. In recent years, Uganda has faced multiple challenges, including pandemics such as COVID-19, Ebola and Mpox, as well as the security incidents like the recent shooting of tourists in Kasese. These events have led to cancellation of tourist bookings, significantly impacting the tourism industry, which is Uganda's leading revenue earner, contributing nearly 80% of the country's GDP.
And that's why you will find a bigger number of mountain gorillas are here, but tourists going to look for them in these areas because of the way we run business here. There's a lot of, we call it liberalism in this country, which needs a little bit to be curtailed.
Stakeholders attribute this downturn to poor media reporting and unregulated online content. To mitigate these challenges, media institutions and journalists are being urged to report objectively on tourism-related matters to protect Uganda's image and attract more visitors.
There is no gag in the media. We don't push you to bend the stories, but you have the power to choose on what aspect to emphasize on.
Is it possible for us to write about the tourism attractions elsewhere? Can you talk about business elsewhere, as well providing alternatives, so that we don't think the entire Uganda has come to a standstill because Kasese is a no-go area, because Wunduwunjo is a no-go area?
Ministry of Health spokesperson Emmanuel Ainebiona reaffirmed that the ministry has received positive responses in monitoring recently discharged Ebola patients, with no new cases reported. He encouraged tourists from within and outside Uganda to visit, as the country is set to be declared Ebola-free.
Because some people thought that discharging all the patients meant that the crisis had ended. But the minister was clear that we have to now count 21 days as per the international protocols to have the end of declaration statement. So from 18, we are now in the countdown. And believe me, we will have a ceremony that will declare an end. So
this was revealed by Emmanuel Ainebiona, the public relations manager at the Ministry of Health, during the Association of Uganda Tour Operators Media Breakfast engagement. The event focused on embracing tourism media reporting to positively shape Uganda's global image. Shaidat Nasaku, Sulaka Gugube, UBC News.
And with the aim of fostering peace through socio-economic transformation, the Presidential Mobilization Body for Peace and Development, led by the Internal Security Organization of Uganda and key stakeholders, has launched the Hongera Sana Uganda initiative. Derived from the Swahili phrase meaning congratulations Uganda, the initiative seeks to boost household incomes, drive development, and provide community engagement, while also pledging to eradicate violent extremism and address its socio-economic challenges.
The organization body for peace and development has launched the Hongera Sana Uganda initiative aimed at advancing peace through socio-economic transformation. The director, Counter-Terrorism, David Waswa, has urged Ugandan citizens to stay vigilant and proactive in countering violence extremism.
The approach to counter-terrorism today in Uganda may not necessarily work for Somalia because terrorism manifests differently from each location, very differently. You can't copycat of the approaches used the other side and here. And therefore, that explains why terrorism is understood differently from different people, by different people. Now, because it is complex, we must think outside the box. Actually, we should break the box. We should be very analytical. We shouldn't be rigged. We should change with times if generations are changing.
National Coordinator Hongera Sana Uganda, Ashraf Moyomba, calls on Ugandans to join the journey of the Hongera Sana Uganda initiative. Religious leaders have urged civilians to collaborate with government and religious leaders to fight counter-terrorism and contribute to the betterment of the country.
So we at the Inter-Religious Council, we struggle to make it happen. And we thank for the opportunity that has been created and that has led to the promotion of peace during all these years. But you know, peace is a fragile, it's like a glass.
We need to address right from that family level, right to offices, right to the whole of government approach in order to deal with that vice.
Bishop David Kashoba urged religious leaders and the government to embrace unity and diversity as a foundation for promoting peace.
All these things that have been happening because of lack of dialogue. Now that we have dialogue, it is possible, ladies and gentlemen who are listening to me this afternoon, that we can have unity in diversity.
Standing land dispute between Kayunga Regional Referral Hospital and the Catholic Church under Lugazi Diocese has taken a new turn. State Minister for Lands Dr. Sam Mayanja has ordered the continuation of the hospital's expansion efforts, including the construction of a sickle cell facility and a medical training school.
The State Minister for Lands, Dr. Sam Mayanja, visited the disputed land in Kayunga district, where he directed the UPDF Engineering Brigade to resume construction. He also instructed Resident District Commissioner RDC Mariam Nalwegal to provide security for the project.
This was all one diocese, so you don't know whether the compensation was paid. You may be talking, but the record which we have seen is that 33 acres, the hospital. If we have seen the limits, the marks, the iron marks. Yeah. So we cannot stop the development from continuing. So the hospital authorities will continue the development, and the RDC will provide adequate security to make sure work is continuing. So that Kayunga Hospital under 16 districts which will enjoy the facility here do not lose out because of this resurgence.
The minister also emphasized that the government cannot compensate for its own land, and expansion efforts must continue for the benefit of the 12 districts served by the hospital.
The church will have to sit and make a case that they were not compensated in 1965. And when that case is made, we shall take it to His Excellency the President. But we shall only support it on basis of compassionate compensation, not a right.
Hospital Board Chairman Simon Mpoya Suwi, along with legal counsel Siriazi Benun, argued that the district land board had wrongly allocated part of the hospital land to the Catholic Church. Historical documents from 1965 indicate that the hospital originally owned 33 acres, including the disputed land.
Contentious land we are having over here, we want to construct a sickle cell clinic and school to be able to handle the sickle cell clients in this region.
Requiring the Catholic community was trying to claim 2 acres at this time after so many years when they should have been compensated and when they should have been when they should have laid a claim against government to recover their compensation for the 2 acres. The fact that the district was trying to relocate them on government land on the extreme end of the land was unlawfully done, and we are trying to have it resolved.
During an inspection, historical land demarcations were identified, reinforcing the hospital's claim. However, NRM chairman Kalangwa Moses proposed that the church be compensated, which remains a controversial suggestion. A senior presidential advisor, Special Duties Fiona Baronji, stressed that mistakes should not be corrected by further mistakes and that the matter must be handled lawfully.
The other title is in the middle of the land of the hospital. But now, you see, they negotiated with the leaders by that time and they were given on an extreme end here. So now that was an error. To me, I believe that those people cannot negotiate on behalf of government. The leaders of the district by that time made an error. They cannot negotiate on behalf of government. This is government land.
The dispute has delayed a World Bank-funded expansion project designed to improve healthcare services in the region. With the minister's directive, construction can now proceed and much-needed infrastructure can be developed. The area RDC Mariam Nalwega appreciated the minister's intervention in securing the hospital's land for public benefit.
Engineering brigade started constructions here. The Catholics, some Catholics came up and they contested. Therefore, we halted all the activities. But today, the minister has had 2 parties and he has guided that the construction should continue.
As construction resumes, authorities remain hopeful that the expansion will improve medical services, particularly for sickle cell patients and future medical professionals in the region. Charity Marion Imnat and Jamil Sekaja for UBC News.
Take a quick break. When we return, more details.
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo.
Hey, Nkowe High School. Now wana tufunye wo muwanguzi owa MTN Momo. Ye wangu de school fees ezo mwaka mulamba tebereza. Hey, owulira otya mutima kati.
Banange sanyu byenye nali amonti wagonya njaga nyangu amali walonze erinyo.
Esisi?
Njanya wangula school fees.
Eza Momo.
Eza Momo.
Ezo mwaka mulamba.
Okumala mwaka mulamba de musanyu.
Oh my goodness.
Banange MTN mwene yaza ne yaze.
Wanji?
Mwebale nnyo mwebalire ddala.
Nkubiriza muzadde munnange yonna gy'oli. Wallahi satulia school fees for Momo Pay.
Dial *165 *80 hash. Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You will now enter the draw to win school fees for your child for a whole year.
Alright, listen up. Colocate is on a mission. It makes our gums happy and our teeth strong. See? We're moving forward and making changes.
It's kind of a big thing.
Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature's herbs and combines it with Colgate Science for healthy gums and strong teeth. And will leave no smile behind.
According to the Uganda Bureau of Statistics Census Report of 2016, in Uganda, 12.4% of the population, about 4.5 million, live with a disability. Limited access to ICT and assistive technologies increases digital disparities, prompting UCOSAF's aim to promote digital inclusiveness for persons with disabilities. The ICT for People with Disability program aims to improve the accessibility of education and technology for persons with disabilities and promote their full and effective participation in society. UCOSA is implementing this program through the creation and maintenance of an online observatory for persons with disabilities intended to link persons with disabilities with service providers and different programs that empower them, and provision of adaptive tools that enhance their quality of life through ICTs and digital skilling.
All right, listen up. Colgate is on a mission. It makes our gums happy and our teeth strong. See? We're moving forward and making changes.
It's kind of a big thing.
Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature's herbs and combines it with Colgate Science for healthy gums and strong teeth. And will leave no smile behind.
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo.
Hey, Mkowe High School. Na wana tufunye wo muwanguzi owa MTN Momo. Ye wangu de school fees ezo mwaka mulamba tebereza. Hey, owuliro otya mutima kati.
Banange sanyu byennyina lya mwoki wagonya njaganyangu wamali walonze erinyo.
Eshishi?
Njani awangula school fees.
Eza Momo.
Eza Momo.
Ezo mwaka mulamba.
Okumala mwaka mulamba ndi musanyufu.
Oh my goodness.
Banange MTN mwene yanza ne yanze.
Wanji?
Mwebale nnyo mwebalire ddala.
Nkubiriza muzadde munnange yonna gy'oli. Wallahi sasulia school fees for Momo Pay.
Dial *165 *80 hash. Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You are now entered the draw to win school fees for your child for a whole year.
A smile that is white, fresh and beautiful is a smile to be proud of. Discover new Colgate White and Fresh for the whole family with high quality and an incredible price.
Looking for instant excitement? The Uganda National Lottery Spin for Cash game is now available online. Wherever you are, you can join the excitement for just 500, 1,000 and 2,000 Uganda shillings. Don't miss out. Register now on www.nationallottery.go.ug for a chance to win your share of 2 billion instantly. What are you waiting for? Play Spin for Cash now, anytime, anywhere. Ituba is the proud operator of the Uganda National Lottery.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Business Uganda loses approximately 15% of its GDP annually due to gender-based violence. This figure highlights the severe economic impact of gender-based violence, affecting productivity, increasing healthcare costs, and leading to other indirect economic losses. Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amongi, emphasizes the urgent need to increase financing to strengthen GBV advocacy across the country.
Minister Betty Amongi stresses the importance of institutional financing, particularly for law enforcement agencies like the police, to effectively handle GBV cases.
Is institutional strengthening and their mindset change. If we can strengthen the institution of police, because the first reporting is with the police, strengthen health sector reporting and gathering of evidence is very important For those who want to report, they need to go to this institution. So let us prioritize collaboration with the institution, make the family section of the police strengthen, resource them so that when they are looking for evidence, when they are called, they will go without asking the woman for fuel.
According to 2022 Uganda Bureau of Statistics survey, 95% of Ugandan women have experienced some form of violence.
But according to the 2022 Uganda Demographic and Health Survey by the Ministry of Health, 54% of ever married women reported experiencing physical, sexual, or emotional violence by their current or most recent spouse or partner. More than half of married women. I mean, that's a staggering amount of women. And among those who've ever experienced spousal violence, 34% of women reported to have sustained some form of injury due to the spousal violence.
The government has been urged to prioritize funding for gender-based violence prevention and advocate for a shift in mindset at the grassroots level.
Can we have GBV as a priority in the government? And that's a political question. But the most important part is that we can create a GBV fund which can generate its own money. And this is how it's going to generate the money. Number one, any person who is a perpetrator of GBV, put a very heavy fine on them, $1 million and above. This financial year, the police has told us that we had more than 3,000 cases of GBV. That is enough to start from, that you can actually find these people and be able to put this money in this particular fund.
And as a member of Parliament, we are going to make sure the important thing, sensitization. We need to sensitize the community from central government up to lower local government. This means people must change their mind. Mindset is very, very important issue.
Winnie Ainembabazi Katwire and Kalisha Stephen for UBC.
And the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries has officially taken over the implementation of the Coffee and Cocoa Value Chain Development Project, COCODEV, in Uganda. This was previously managed by Uganda Coffee Development Authority, UCDA. The project, co-funded by the European Union with a total budget of 25.5 billion, aims at boosting Uganda's coffee sector, a key contributor to the national economy.
Coffee and Cocoa Chain Development Project, COCODEV, which began in March 2022 and will run until September 2027, focuses on 3 key areas: supporting and strengthening policy and regulatory frameworks, enhancing commercial coffee and cocoa production, and improving quality and market opportunities. Aligned with Uganda's National Development Plan Vision 2040 and the Coffee Roadmap, COCODEV aims to increase coffee production to 20 million bags by 2030.
As directed by His Excellency the President, COCODEV complements government efforts to increase production, enhance the regulatory framework, post-harvest handling, quality, assurance, and marketing within the entire coffee and cocoa value chain.
Between August and October 2024, COCODEV awarded 12.6 billion in matching grants to 152 beneficiaries, facilitating the planting of 3,497 acres of coffee and 552 acres of cocoa.
The beneficiaries will plant 3,500 acres of coffee and 552 acres of cocoa.
Despite high demand challenges, the ministry encourages tree planting and irrigation to combat harsh weather conditions and enhance productivity. Beneficiaries are urged to continue preparations for the upcoming planting season in March 2025.
If we continuously destroy our environment, these effects are going to be realized and they will become more intense. That notwithstanding, I think there are various initiatives that have been undertaken by the government to support farmers, more especially in terms of using irrigation. The ministry, through this press release, urges all beneficiaries to continue implementing the activities, including preparing for the next planting season due in March 2025.
The ministry reassures its commitment to efficient project implementation, adhering to Uganda Coffee Development Authority contract terms. Internal processes are underway to change bank accounts following the Public Finance and Management Act, ensuring expedited payments to grantees.
I want to assure the farmers who got this grant that the government of Uganda will pay you in accordance with the terms and conditions of the contract, and that you don't have to have any worries or concerns or fears that your payments are not going to be made.
Charity Marion Imnat and Rogers Komagum for UBC News.
Poverty Alleviation Department, PAD, have handed over 60 goats and 10 oxen to residents of Rosikan Parish, Palam Sub-County, Katakwit District. This under the project aimed at supporting household incomes. During the handover ceremony, Esther Akelo, Assistant Presidential Secretary on Poverty, representing the head of department, Joan Kakwenzire, urged beneficiaries to take good care of the animals for sustainable income generation.
Residents from 4 villages in Alsiakan Model Village gathered at Alsiakan Parish to receive inputs from the State House initiative. During the handover, Joan Kakwenzile, head of department, represented by Esther Akero, reaffirmed the government's commitment to poverty eradication in eastern Uganda.
We believe that these oxen will help them open up their land in order to boost agricultural practice in this area. We are pleased that people from this area have embraced this project with all their hearts. We are pleased to inform the public of the benefits of this project in this area. We have seen many things going on in this area. We have seen people getting out of poverty slowly by embracing this project.
She urged beneficiaries not to be tempted to sell the animals, but instead use them for economic development.
One of the strongest warning that we pass to them is never to sell out these inputs. If you're caught when you've sold these inputs, we arrest you, we imprison you, we even force you to pay back. And once you pay back, we withdraw that input from you, and then we give out to someone else who is ready to keep it in order to come out of poverty.
Emmanuel Amodoi, field officer for Alsiakan Model Village, commended President Museveni for the initiative, stating that the project has significantly improved livelihoods.
I want to say great thanks to our President of the Republic of Uganda for his good heart and that loving heart of the nation. For us here, we have been disturbed a lot by the Karamojong and so on, and we lost a lot of the animals. But we are very happy for our president who has remembered us with such a project.
Some beneficiaries expressed appreciation and pledged to use the oxen to expand their agricultural activities.
Very happy for the program of State House to give us the oxen, which is going to bring us out of poverty, because it's going to help us to plow our gardens when rain comes, and we are going to achieve in what we are going to grow. Thank you, Pad.
Here in Arusiakan, we are very happy for a president who brought for us this program, which is very good for us also to come up from poverty.
At least 10 oxen and 63 goats have been distributed in Alsiakan Model Village under the PAD project.
All right, and that does it for News Tonight. Thank you for sticking with us. Dorothy Namiyomba on Sign Language. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. Have yourselves a lovely night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.